One day, the narrow gauge engines had contracted a disease known as boredom. "I'm so bored," said Millie. "I wish there was something we could do." "But there really isn't," said Reneus. "In fact, there's not really any work for us either." By the way, we had to clean off the camera. "Well, I know something that is great fun," said Peter Sam. "Oh, really? And what is that?" "Yeah, we need something to do in these stupid times." "Well, I think we should just sleep." And so they did. Suddenly, Mr. Percival appeared. "All right, engines. Said the engines. Hey, Mr. Percival. What are you doing?" "I'm your controller. You already know what I'm doing here. Listen, do you work?" "If you're so bored, dumbasses." And Mr. Percival disappeared. Magic. 2010, 2017, 2006. Okay, we're done. 2006, 2000. Oh. They're gonna say 2014, 2013, and 2008. Mr. Percival was walking on sunshine. Whoa! It's time to feel bad. Thumper was being Thumper. Okay, let's get to the plot. Meanwhile, Reneus was waiting at the station. Reneus was waiting for his passengers to get on board when suddenly Skarloey raced past with a train of oil tankers. As soon as Skarloey passed him, he was out of sight. That's odd. Where was Skarloey off to in such a hurry?" said Reneus, and suddenly he realized. Wait a second. Side rods! He had side rods! Reneus quickly realized what was going on, and he, without hesitation, steamed away. "Sorry," he shouted, "but this is an emergency! An emergency!" Wait a second, wrong way. And so he roared into the sheds. "Guys," he yelled, "I have an important announcement. Skarloey, there's another one of you running around." "What?" said Skarloey. "I know, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I had to abandon the passengers to tell you." "What the hell, Reneus?" "Reneus, you need to go back." "You're right," he said. And he puffed away. "However, this is cause for concern, so Peter Sam, you must also, while you're on your duties, you must be on the lookout." "Since when the fuck were you controller?" "I never was." "But then why does it sound like you're giving me orders?" "I have no idea. I really don't have any. Just go." "Alright." Later that day, Peter Sam was waiting at a red signal. Suddenly, Millie popped up. "Oh, hello there, Millie," he said. "Second, Millie, why are you pulling the motor trucks?" Millie didn't reply. Suddenly, he realized she didn't have her nameplate. "Millie, what happened to your nameplate?" he said. But before he could reply, Millie raced away. Wait, no. "What the hell?" he said. Soon his signal turned blue for some reason, and Peter Sam puffed away. Later on, Duncan. Bruh. Later on, Duncan was pulling some fuel trucks. He was feeling rather happy for some reason. Oh boy, said Duncan. I'm happy chappy for some reason. Suddenly he was stopped and the line was switched. Oh, said Duncan. As he was stopped, an engine popped up. He had a broken side rod. Oh great, it's another clone and oh my god! What happened to your face? And what's wrong with your paint? It's less bright, said the other Duncan. I'm not sure what you mean. Hissed the engine, literally. What are you doing here? All I shall say to you is it's happening. It's coming. What's happening? What's coming? Lots of things, Duncan said. The other Duncan said. Why do you say lots of things? All I shall say is the motor vans are coming. What? Before he could say anything else, the other Duncan rushed off. Lost six! Cried Duncan. That was very unsettling. And so he raced off. Oh dear, said Scarlowy. This won't turn out good. Later that night, the other engines were quite spooked. So what you're saying is, there are clones of us running around on this railway? Said Rheneas frantically. I'm afraid so, said Peter Sam. None of us know what these engines are here for, or what they're capable of. But what we should all be aware of, and what we should all know, is that we should be on our guard. And the other engines agreed. You know, guys, I heard one of them say that they're here because of the motor vans. Wait, motor vans? You mean the ones that you were messing around with and Peter Sam saved you? Those same motor vans? I would think the very same, although we should be aware. Oh, what if they start stealing our identities? What if they begin harming our friends? What if they take over the railway? The engines were very scared. Their future was uncertain, but they had a big mystery on their buffers. All that they could say for sure was that things were going to be rough the next day. And indeed they were. The next day, the engines were up bright and early, thinking of things that they could do. All right, engines, think. Well, we obviously don't know what these engines want, so we must find a way to get rid of them. And hopefully those motor vans don't come seeing us. Oh, that's very much agreed. Well, I had an idea. If we see them come around, we'll be like battering rams. The engines didn't really like the idea, but they had no choice. Although some of them did warm up to it, like Peter Sam and Mac. Oh, all in favor, say aye. Aye! All opposed, say nay. What I mean, all in favor? Aye. I don't know what the hell the creator was thinking. Let's go! Not Peter Sam. Duncan, Rheneas, and Scarlowy were lined up. The engines were all in their positions. Soon they saw Scarlowy, and Scarlowy was pulling some stolen coaches of different assortments of color. Alright, you three, When I say go, go! And go, go, go! Suddenly, Scarlet rounded the bend and they charged into him. Yeah. Good work, engines, he said as he looked at Scarlet. Man, it's like looking into a mirror besides, well, the eyebrows and the side rods. Well, we better take him in for questioning. Peter, Sam, Rusty, Millie, and Mighty Mac were all waiting. Alright, remember, stick to the plan, said Peter Sam, and all the other engines murmured in agreement. Suddenly, Duncan's clone arrived, and the engines made him tumble off the rails. Millie was up next. As her clone came rounding the bend, she pushed her off the rail. Ah! Oh, watch it. Bitch. How incredibly rude. Hey, you need to stop what you're doing right now. We will not, and we will knock you off the rails if you don't surrender. Pah! I am not going to be told what to do by some two-headed freak show. Two-headed freak show, I'll show you. And the two bashed the two trucks off the rails. The two lay dazed and surprised. Later that night, Mr. Percival congratulated the engines. Now that this clone invasion mumbo-jumbo is over, I suppose we must get back to work tomorrow. And the engines murmured in agreement.